Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy. Martin Milner was born on December 28, 1931, in Detroit, Michigan. At age 37, he played Pete Malloy, a high-ranking patrol officer and Jim Reed's direct partner on the streets of Los Angeles in the 1968 film ADAM-12. This role solidified his image as a quiet moral compass on television. However, his calm and authoritative on-screen demeanor concealed a life full of turmoil and loss. Constantly moving from place to place had plagued him since childhood, eroding any sense of stability and teaching him to be emotionally self-reliant. Acting became his refuge, leading to his early film work and later years of traveling on Route 66. However, the momentum of his career never brought him inner peace. Instead, success placed an even greater burden on a man already accustomed to shouldering everything alone. His 1957 marriage to Judith Jones provided stability, but the demanding schedules of Hollywood strained their relationship. As Milner continuously took on demanding projects like Route 66, ADAM-12, and later roles like Columbus, family life became increasingly limited. The silent, persistent, and unresolved pressure toiled, tearing him between spending time with his family and maintaining his reputation in an industry that valued steadfastness over weakness. Then grief redefined everything. The sudden death of his son, Andrew, in 1984 shattered the emotional foundations he had built over decades. When his daughter, Amy, died of acute myeloid leukemia in 2004, the old wound reopened with devastating force. Work slowed, public appearances became less frequent, and the discipline that had once kept him grounded now became more of a survival instinct than an ambition. Chronic heart failure plagued his final years. Ultimately, Milner died on September 6, 2015, in Carlsbad, California, at the age of 83 and was cremated. His estimated net worth of $2.5 million, earned through enduring television success and royalties, stands in stark contrast to a life whose defining moments were not accolades, but resilience in overcoming successive personal losses. William Boyett as Sergeant Mac McDonald. William Boyett was born on January 3, 1927, in Akron, Ohio. At age 41, he played Sergeant Mac McDonald, a strict but principled supervisor of the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, in the 1968 series, ADAM-12. His character was an image of authority. His presence brought discipline and realism to the series. Audiences only see the image of a commander and controller, rarely suspecting the hardships that forged the man behind that badge. Growing up during the Great Depression left lasting scars. Financial instability forced him to work early, replacing his studies with responsibility and urgency. That pressure quickly forged him, shaping a survival instinct that would later manifest naturally in his roles in Highway Patrol and Dragnet, where restraint and resilience were more important than emotional expression. Adult life brought stability but not comfort. His marriage to Joan Reynolds lasted decades, but the frequent financial instability from his acting career created tension in the family. Although Boyett consistently appeared on television in shows like Perry Mason, Emergency, and The Andy Griffith Show, the supporting roles rarely provided stability, and the burden of providing for his family without financial security never truly eased. His health deteriorated quietly. Recurrent illnesses weakened him over time, even as he continued to participate in projects like The Rocketeer and The Hidden, receiving praise for his genuine, heartfelt performances rather than acting. Pneumonia and chronic kidney disease gradually afflicted him, limiting both his health and his ability to be self-reliant in his final years. Sadly, Boyett died on December 29, 2004, in Mission Hills, California, at the age of 77 from complications of pneumonia and kidney failure. His estimated net worth of approximately $1 million, accumulated from decades of work on television and military benefits, reflects a career built on perseverance rather than reward. He was buried quietly, remembered as an influential figure on screen thanks to a lifetime of quiet struggle. Gary Crosby as Officer Ed Wells. Gary Crosby was born on June 27, 1933, in Los Angeles, California. At age 35, he played Ed Wells, an energetic and capable patrol officer in the 1968 film ADAM-12. This role provided brief stability in an otherwise turbulent career. But Crosby's personal life had been unstable long before the cameras started rolling. Fame came too soon and distorted everything. As the son of Bing Crosby, expectations replaced affection, and discipline gradually turned into fear. The physical and emotional punishments at home fostered resentment and confusion, which he later revealed in his memoir, Going My Own Way. These unhealed wounds followed him into adulthood, shaping a fragile identity that never fully escaped his father's shadow. Career opportunities seemed promising. The Bill Dana Show, musical performances with the Crosby Boys, and guest appearances in Dragnet and Emergency. However, stability remained elusive. Alcohol became a coping mechanism, gradually eroding his credibility and trust. Even as he continued to land supporting roles in shows like Hunter and The Rockford Files, his marriages repeatedly failed under that pressure. 3 marriages broke down due to addiction, legal disputes, and emotional estrangement, leaving him with fractured relationships with his children. Late attempts at recovery, often interrupted by relapse, reinforced a vicious cycle of regret that deepened isolation instead of resolving it. Tragically, Crosby died on August 24, 1995, in Burbank, California, at the age of 62 from lung cancer linked to years of heavy smoking. He was buried at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Hollywood Hills. His estimated net worth is around $1.2 million, derived from music royalties, acting work, and inheritance, a modest sum for someone born into a prominent family. Art Gilmore as Lieutenant Moore. Art Gilmore was born on March 18, 1912, in Tacoma, Washington. At age 56, he appeared as Lieutenant Moore, a commanding lieutenant tasked with issuing orders, reporting to officers, and representing the department leadership in the 1968 film ADAM-12. His role focused more on supervision and command than on personal stories. Off-screen, his life was plagued by long-term economic pressures and relentless work demands. He grew up in a working-class family whose income depended on his work on the railroad for many years. Financial hardship forced him to work early, often prioritizing income over formal education. The pressure to study and limited resources narrowed his options, pushing him toward work instead of a long-term academic path. That initial pressing need shaped a pattern of sustained productivity that followed him into adulthood. Marriage did not diminish that pattern. Gilmore married Grace Weller in 1938, and they had 2 daughters, but this relationship helped alleviate the pressures of work for him. His constant commitments to radio and television reporting, including crime-fighting programs and highway patrols, kept him away from home for extended periods. Family life remained intact, but it revolved around his absence rather than being in sync with him. Professional responsibilities only increased with age, not diminished. He voiced numerous shows such as Highway Patrol, The New Breed, and ADAM-12, and held leadership roles in broadcasting organizations. The pressure to always be active, reliable, and available limited his opportunities for rest, even as his colleagues retired. Ultimately, Gilmore died on September 25, 2010, in Irvine, California, at the age of 98 from natural causes. He passed away leaving behind his wife Grace, daughters, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and details of his funeral were kept private. His estimated net worth was around $1 million, earned over decades of work in radio, voice acting, and television, reflecting long-term career stability rather than sudden wealth. Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed. Kent McCord was born on September 26, 1942, in Los Angeles, California. At age 26, he played Jim Reed, a newly appointed patrol officer, training under Pete Malloy and gradually taking on responsibilities in the 1968 film ADAM-12. A clear sense of purpose became McCord's defining characteristic and boundary. Financial pressures shaped his early adulthood, fostering discipline and a cautious sense of responsibility that followed him into his marriage and career. As ADAM-12 grew in popularity, that stability came at a price. A demanding production schedule and limited time for rest. The stability that gave the show its authenticity narrowed the space for experimentation. Even as he sought variety through projects like Galactica 1980 and television guest appearances, family life continued but under considerable pressure. Married to Cynthia Lee Doty since 1962, McCord balanced long days on set with family obligations, often returning home late and mentally exhausted. His absence was subtle, not explosive, accumulating over the years like a simmering tension, requiring more patience than resolution. Professionally, being stuck with only one role had constrained him. Attempts to diversify, such as in Baba Black Sheep, Airplane 2, and later Farscape, helped broaden his portfolio but failed to restore his momentum. The advocacy work with the Screen Actors Guild was meaningful, but it also highlighted the reality many actors face. Respect that isn't reciprocated can be a heavy burden. Now 84. McCord lives a secluded life and makes only selective appearances at ADAM-12 fan events. His estimated net worth of $1.5 million reflects royalties, union pensions, and stage appearance fees, a testament to a career built on stability rather than constant innovation. Claude Johnson as Officer Brinkman. Claude Johnson was born on May 17, 1938, in Lassen County, California. At age 30, he played Officer Brinkman, a minor but frequently appearing patrol officer in the 1968 film ADAM-12. Those roles were brief appearances with no character development. His career followed a similar pattern, steady work without advancement. Johnson grew up in a rural, low-income environment after his father died when he was young. His mother worked multiple jobs simultaneously, and Johnson had to shoulder family responsibilities from a young age. His educational opportunities were limited due to financial hardship, hindering his career advancement from the outset. These early constraints shaped his working life as an adult. He continued working on numerous television shows throughout the 1950s and 1960s, appearing in Donna Reed's The Untouchables, and later ADAM-12. None of these roles provided long-term contractual stability. Each project required new auditions and location changes, adding to the uncertainty of his career. Even as his reputation for reliability grew, Johnson was married and had children, but unstable income and a precarious career placed constant pressure on his family. Financial stress became a recurring theme in their family life, contributing to tension and emotional distance. He deliberately avoided public attention, keeping these issues private and refraining from discussing them in interviews. Sadly, Johnson passed away on May 18, 2009, in Los Angeles, the day after his 71st birthday, from natural causes. Details of his funeral were not released. His estimated net worth was around $600,000, accumulated over decades in television, reflecting a long career without the need for financial support or a late career revival. Robert Donner as TJ. Robert Donner was born on April 27, 1931, in New York City. At age 37, he played TJ, a former convict turned police informant providing street intelligence in the 1968 film ADAM-12. This role placed him in a middle ground between criminals and law enforcement, rather than as a heroic figure. His life off-screen was far more turbulent than his on-screen characters. He grew up in impoverished neighborhoods rife with neglect and addiction. His father left early, and his mother's substance abuse created an environment of neglect and emotional instability. His early exposure to addiction left him accustomed to chaos, planting patterns that would later reappear in his own struggles. Stability came late and was imperfect. Career development was uneven. Donner appeared in Cool Hand Luke, Rio Bravo, and later rose to fame as Exodore in Mork and Mindy. But jobs are never stable and offer lasting security. Success in comedy masks unresolved personal wounds, while job insecurity exacerbates financial and emotional instability beneath the public spotlight. Marriage reflects similar instability. Donner married Cissy Wellman first, then Jill Sherman in 1982, but addiction and emotional instability disrupted the long-term balance. Relationships fractured under the weight of unresolved addictions, leaving his personal life fragmented even as his professional activities continued. Donner died on June 8, 2006, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 75 from a heart attack. Details of the funeral were kept private. His estimated net worth of $800,000, accumulated from acting roles and television appearances, reflects a career sustained by talent but hampered by personal struggles, ending quietly after decades of internal conflict. Virginia Gregg, as in White. Robert Patton as Detective Sergeant Stone. Robert Patton was born on October 11, 1925, in Tacoma, Washington. At age 43, he played Detective Sergeant Stone, a senior detective responsible for interrogating, overseeing cases, and directing subordinate officers in the 1968 film ADAM-12. This role placed him in investigative and commanding scenes rather than lengthy character storylines. However, his personal past carries lasting wounds, stemming long before his career stabilized. Patton grew up during the Great Depression, in a family affected by financial ruin and alcohol abuse. His father's alcoholism caused instability, neglect, and emotional trauma. Poverty limited his educational opportunities and pushed him towards early independence. Joining the army became more of an escape than a career choice. Offering stability where it was unavailable at home, marriage brought similar instability. Patton married Patricia Grant first, then Peggy Lloyd in 1956, both marriages ending in divorce. Work pressure and constant job instability strained his family life, while a public scandal erupted when he was named in the 1962 divorce case involving Glynis Johns. Personal relationships deteriorated under the pressures of work, leaving lasting emotional consequences. Career success couldn't compensate for those losses. He appeared in films like Airport, 1970, Lassie, and had previously been known for 12 O'Clock High, but stable leading roles never materialized. Television work remained steady but erratic, adding to financial instability even during his peak years. Tensions built up without any structural release. Tragically, Patton died on December 29, 2001, at his home in Malibu, California, at the age of 76 from terminal cancer. His funeral was private. His estimated net worth is around $700,000, earned over decades as an actor, reflecting a long career marked by perseverance rather than financial stability. Jed Allen as Reno West. Jed Allen was born on March 1, 1935, in New York City. At age 33, he played Reno West, a repeat offender whose cases were investigated and closed by Reed and Malloy in the 1968 film ADAM-12. The character was a recurring criminal, and his capture demonstrated more of the persistence of the investigation than redemption. Outside of the film series, Allen was building a career that demanded constant innovation. He grew up in a poor neighborhood in the Bronx, where instability was inevitable. His parents divorced early, leaving him primarily raised by his grandmother while financial pressures shaped daily life. Worries about money limited his choices, forcing him to mature before he was ready, and replacing security with obligation. The pressures of his early life fueled a strong drive for independence, which stayed with him into adulthood. Career advancement came at a high personal cost. Long-running roles in Days of Our Lives, such as Don Craig and later Santa Barbara, demanded a rigorous schedule and intense emotional performance. The pressures of daytime television blurred the lines between work and personal life, increasing fatigue and narrowing emotional capacity even as his professional fame grew. Marriage helped alleviate some of that pressure. Allen married Janice Toby Brown in 1958, and they raised 3 sons, Mitch, Dean, and Rick. While his career demanded frequent absences and long production cycles, the marriage remained strong until her death in 2001. But the pressures of long-running television series commitments weighed heavily on the family's stability, silently testing their resilience rather than publicly breaking down. Allen died on March 9, 2019, in Palm Desert, California, at the age of 84 from natural causes. Details of the funeral were kept private. His estimated net worth is $1.5 million, largely earned over decades of daytime television work and hosting projects, reflecting more perseverance and stability than sudden success, closing a career built on persistence under constant pressure. Fred Stromso as Officer Jerry Woods. Fred Stromso was born on June 15, 1930, in Denver, Colorado. At age 38, he played Jerry Woods, a support patrol officer in the 1968 film ADAM-12. The character appeared frequently but never became a main character, playing only a supporting role within the unit. This restrained on-screen role was a stark contrast to the stressful life he experienced off-screen. Stromso grew up in a working-class family involved in mining, where income depended on changing work locations. His family moved several times, interrupting his education and preventing continuity. He dropped out of school early to work and contribute financially to his family instead of completing a formal education. Being forced into manual labor from a young age caused long-lasting psychological stress and limited future options beyond manual work. His career developed on 2 parallel paths. He acted in series such as Gunsmoke, Route 66, and The Fugitive, while also working as a stunt double for Martin Milner and David Jansen. The stunt work subjected him to constant, violent impacts without the protection or compensation that lead actors receive. Over time, the accumulated injuries and fatigue became a part of his daily life, rather than isolated incidents. Marriage did not alleviate the pressure either. Stromso was married to Nancy Berry, but the combination of long filming schedules, frequent travel, and an unstable income created persistent tension within the family. Emotional distance emerged, and the relationship deteriorated without public conflict. Even while appearing in films like What's Up, Doc and The Slime People, his private life remained strained and unresolved. His long-term smoking exacerbated physical damage already present from years of hard work. Stromso died on September 30, 1994, in Los Angeles at the age of 64 from complications related to emphysema. His estimated net worth of approximately $800,000 earned from acting, stunt work, and assistant directing reflects stable work but limited financial security in his later years.